Please join me in the national anthem and pledge the flag. Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam? Christmas stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. For the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streamed, and the rocket's red glare, the bombers bursting in air, came through to the night, that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Jerry Atkinson, will you please come forward for our invocation?
Let us pray. Lord, as we gather here today as members of Dothan Rotary, we pray that we are ever mindful of opportunities to render our services to our fellow citizens and to our community, keeping in mind always our pledge to put service before self. And now, Lord, we give thanks for the friends around us, for the food before us, and your presence with us always. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Jerry. Terry Duffy, Family Rotary.
Thank you very much, President Josh. Good morning. Hope everybody's having a great Sunday. Sad news to report before we celebrate birthdays and anniversaries. Fellow Rotarian Dr. Dennis Coe's father passed away over the weekend. So please, let's all be mindful and lift their family up in prayers of peace and comfort for them. Now let's celebrate on a happy note. Melissa Kirkland, February 27th. Todd Derrick, March the 1st. And one big anniversary to celebrate, Martha and Bo Bagger on March the 2nd. Hope you all have a great week. Thank you.
Valerie White Russell, will you please come forward and introduce our guests?
Good afternoon. We're happy to welcome our guests and visiting Rotarians today. When I call your name, would you please stand and remain standing until all visitors are recognized. Laura Bruce. Thank you, Ms. Laura. She's a guest of the club. Carol Peak. Thank you, Carol. Carol is a guest of Josh Chapman and Bailey Wright. Thank you, Bailey. Bailey is a guest of Mike and Sheila Azar. Thank you for visiting with the Dothan Rotary Club today. Thank you.
Mark Kristen and time for our Kent Ask and Draw. $3,609 points. All right, last four, 6400. 6400. All right. It's getting slim. Six close. All right, everybody's favorite time, Mr. Alan Richard, please come forward.
We start all over. This is for the rest of the year.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's time to draw for speaker programs. We'll be drawing for May 20th through June or July 29th. Now, I would like to say last month left a survey on the tables for speaker suggestions. Got a lot of great suggestions. Matter of fact, we've got two on the list now. Steve Flowers will be here on the 11th of this month, and actually Dr. Jack Hawkins, Chancellor and President of Troy University, will be here. It's April the 22nd, and his emphasis will not just be an update on what Troy has going on, but actually be his presentation on leadership. So please plan to attend all of the meetings. But I did want to follow up with him and say, you know, those suggestions are extremely helpful. We want to be able to make sure that we are providing something that's of value to the club. Regrettably, Donald Trump has not responded. I got a letter from him that was to suggest North Valley Park. For May 20th, look in the old fishbowl. Cameron Good. May 20th. Going into June 3rd. Cal Whaley. June 10th, Adam Hall. June 17th, Jenny Logan. June 24th, Morgan Eagle. July 8th, Seth Brooks. July 15th, Adam Dozier. July 22nd, Margaret. Have you had a program recently?
My Cal's had about 5 last year.
Let's see. Is that July 22nd?
Yes.
In July 29th, David Hanks. Congratulations. In May, we'll probably go ahead and draw for August and September. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Alan.
Appreciate it.
Brad Parrish has an announcement he'd like to make.
Good afternoon. Just wanted to draw your attention to a flyer that you have on your table representing Wallace College and the Wallace College Foundation. We are having our annual golf tournament on Thursday, April 18th. It's the Hugh Wheelis Memorial Tournament. And we're looking forward to any sponsors and golfers out there that want to participate. You can see the sponsorship opportunities at the bottom of the page and my contact information also. But I will take a filled out form and also email, whatever, but really looking forward to your support this year. So many students attend Wallace that would not be able to attend without scholarships. So it really does make a difference every year for the scholarship program. We really appreciate your support. Thank you.
All right, we have a Paul Harris Plus. Judge Mike Conway, will you please come forward? Judge Conway, the presentation of the Paul Harris Fellow is the Rotary Club's Foundation's way of expressing its appreciation for a substantial contribution to its humanitarian and educational programs. This honor is named for Rotary's founder, Paul Harris, who started Rotary in 1905. Judge Conway, it's because of gifts like yours that the Rotary Foundation is able to carry out an array of programs that achieve beneficial changes in our world. We congratulate you and we thank you for your commitment to the programs of the Rotary Foundation. I'd like to invite everyone to rise and congratulate Judge Michael Conway. All right, Les Moreland, please come forward.
This is our newest Rotarian. It's for a privilege to make an announcement. Starting tomorrow night, the CF is presenting Little Shop of Horrors musical, Tuesday through Saturday. It's a 1983 Broadway musical. I will be in it. The last time I was in a play was 2021 Elf. So to get you a little bit prepared for it, I'm going to turn around and enter a character and turn back around and talk to you. How you doing? My name's Bowser. Yeah, I live on the stoop in front of Mushnick's Skid Row floors in the Bowery District in New York. I like my territory. Me and my buddy Leroy, we sleep on the stoop. What's great is there's a garbage can right next to where we sleep. I love the smell of garbage. It's really nice. You know, usually every day, Mr. Mushnick or Audrey or Seymour, they don't eat all their lunch. So they open up the trash can and throw it in there, and I can count on at least one meal a day from that. I'm a wino, and I like to protect my territory, but something crazy is going on at the florist. Seymour found an exotic plant, and it turns out that it's the buzz of all of New York, and people are starting to disappear. So something's going on. It's almost like the plant is eating people. So anyway, it's really fun being down in Skid Row right now and watching all the buzz that's going on. And then the orchids, they live on the other side of the storm. They're quite good singers and dancers, and the music, it's like great music from the 60s. So if you got a chance this week, come on down to the Cultural Arts Center and see us. Stevie Solace. It's my privilege today to introduce Stevie to you. I'm going to give a little bio stuff and then I'm just going to talk. But Stevie is the Vice President of Member Services at Wiregrass Electric. In the transition from me retiring as CEO, one of our vice presidents was promoted to CEO. Stevie took the position of Vice President of Member Services when Brad Kimbrough became CEO. So Stevie is from Elba. I know Linda remembers his family. There's Michael Maddox. See, any other Elba natives? There you go. So there's a little community here that he can feel at home with. Stevie got an industrial electricity degree from Merlin Wallace and drafting and design from Wallace College. This November, is it 31 or 30 years? 30.
30 years this November is in the electric cooperative world. Stevie was at South Alabama Electric Cooperative prior to 2013, where he came over, and I'm gonna talk a little bit more about that. But Walter, are you here today?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Stevie's worked with United Way in Geneva County and on the board now.
Marquee. That's not what I mean.
So he's been very active in United Way and Habitat for Humanity for many, many years, had leadership there, been married 33 years. 2 sons, Chase, who's married to Olivia, and Colin. Chase is at Andalusia Distributing, right? That's right. In Andalusia. He's a good golfer too. Stevie and Chase are great to have on the scramble. It's one of his hobbies. He attends First Baptist Church in Elba. The rest of this, here's what I want to say about Stevie. Y'all are very, very fortunate to have this man. Back in 2013, we were in a transition when the general manager left and I was becoming CEO. And we had 13 people take early retirement one Friday due to a early retirement offer, and we had a hole in management that had to do with our mapping system, GIS mapping. Am I saying that right? And Stevie was gainfully employed at South Alabama in another area, but that's where his passion at the time was. So we posted the job, and Stevie came over. Was a part of the management team at Wiregrass Electric for the last 11 years with me. And Stevie has got some exceptional and diverse skills. As a manager in the engineering operations department, he supervised staking engineers. And so one of the things we noticed about Stevie early on was that when we were building services, and we did that hundreds of times a year, you might not believe this, but everybody wasn't happy about what it cost to do a line extension. So we allowed 600 feet for overhead and about 100 feet for underground. Some people wanted us to build 3 miles or whatever. And there's a cost to that. And so people would get unhappy and they start complaining to the engineer. Stevie early on began to deal with our members and negotiate and try to reach some kind of satisfactory outcome. So he has outstanding people skills, not only in management, but also in the 90,000 members of the co-op. So when the opening came for a vice president of member services, we already knew that Stevie had the people skills to talk to our members. So congratulations on your promotion to Vice President of Member Services, Stevie. And he's going to be a great representative of Wiregrass Electric. If y'all will recall, the last many years, whenever we got drawn out of the hat, or often in between, we brought either Gary Smith or Seth Hammond or many of the leaders that are state leaders at Power South here. We brought other contacts we have. So he'll be a great source of programs to keep you updated on the electric industry. I'm really proud of the fact that Wiregrass Electric is represented in Rotary. As you know, we have nobody from Alabama Power, and we rarely have anybody from Dothan Utilities. So this is an important way to get information about what's going on in electricity. So welcome to the club, Stevie. Thank you.
I just want to say thank you for welcoming me into the club. I look forward to meeting all of you formally at some point in time and getting to know you and continuing to work with you in the community and with our businesses. And just happy to be here, and thank you again for allowing me in.
Stevie, you have been chosen to membership in the Dothan Rotary Club because your fellow members believe you to be a leader in your vocation and because you possess the qualities that impart the message of Rotary to those with whom you come in contact with. You've been admitted not only to the Dothan Rotary Club, but a worldwide association. And by virtue of your membership in this club, you'll be welcomed into the fellowship of any Rotary Club in the world. The honor and privilege of Rotary membership carries with it duties and obligations. You will be expected to attend the club's meetings regularly, to perform your share of club service, and to place your knowledge and talents at the disposal of the club in its tasks of carrying the principles of Rotary into the daily life of the community. Stevie, it is now my distinct pleasure to formally admit you to the membership in this club and ask that your sponsor affix to you the lapel and our emblem. Fellow Rotarians, please rise and welcome our newest member. Les, if you will, please stay up here for me. As Les mentioned, he retired a couple months ago, I believe, and the Dothan Rotary Club Board voted to honor Les with an honorary membership. So thank you so much for years of service in this club and the impact you've had. All right, I'm gonna turn it over to John Gormley to introduce our presentation for today.
Well, it's good to be up here again. How ugly y'all were as a group. Today's program is kind of special to me. Alan Ricketts called me Friday to ask if I could introduce our program. This is Art Morris's program that couldn't be here today. And it was kind of a blessing in disguise because the honor roll is very near and dear to me. As most of you know, some of you know, my dad was killed when I was 4 months old in World War II. My mom remarried when I was 5 to a man that served in the Navy in World War II. And he never spoke much about his service in the military. And while I was growing up, I spent a lot of time with my granddad, who was also a veteran of the Spanish-American War. And we went to every VFW club that ever had anything going. We went to every parade that was ever going. And I asked my granddad why it was so important for us to do that. And he said, because we're honoring people that gave something up so that we could be free. We have a duty to honor them. Then more recently, I heard someone say, we can't all be heroes. Some of us have to stand on the sidewalk and applaud them as they go by. Wow. So today we're going to have a program about the honor flights. After my dad, my stepdad, was able, we went to Washington and we visited some of the memorials and the monuments. And after that trip, he often spoke freely about his time in the Navy. He'd never heard it growing up. That released something in him, and I'm sure that it does on all of these honor flights. Today, we're going to hear from two people. I'm going to tell you about the pretty one first. Judi Temple is with us. From the Miami area, Judi has been an honor flight of South Florida volunteer since a friend of hers asked her to come and greet the returning veterans at a homecoming event at the local airport. She was immediately hooked on the concept and has served both as a staff member and a guardian on multiple flights. The other half of the team would be Travis Park. I won't even describe Travis. You can see it for yourself. Travis, a native of Montgomery, lived in the Enterprise area since he was stationed at Fort Rucker, please, the rest of my life, as a medic and bandsman in 1973. He's a realtor, a newspaper reporter, and a serial volunteer. Travis has served several local, statewide, and even national recognition for both his job and his volunteer work. You go first, Travis.
First of all, thank y'all. Thank you very much for, sort of mentioned, you said there's gonna be a little story there. Thank y'all for inviting us. I'll get this little clicker thing figured out just a second here. Okay, Wiregrass Honor Flight. So we're getting our mission off the ground. We started in 2022. We're just now at the baby steps. And I'll just go back real quick to the history of Honor Flight. It started in 2005 with an idea. Gentleman had got 6 friends of his that are pilots, got 6 airplanes, little small ones, and 12 veterans. Flew 12, those 12 World War II veterans up to Washington, D.C. to see their monument. The idea spread quickly because in 2009, there was a Wiregrass / Dothan Ozark branch started down here called Hubs. It started 2009, went to 2010, they did 5 flights, flew right at 400 veterans, ran out of World War II veterans. Because at the time, it was only World War II veterans. Then they added, after that, they added pre-war veterans, and now the Vietnam era veterans, they also fly. Critically ill veterans out there. You can see the picture of the first honor flight, 2005, a little small group. And that's the first homecoming. Okay, you can see the difference between the first one and the advanced ones later on. This is some of the numbers, and I'll give you an update on that since this was printed out. Last year alone, they had 360 flights from 126 hubs for a chapter. They flew over 22,000 veterans just 1 year. Over 17,000 guardians. What is a guardian? A guardian is basically a chaperone for the veteran. We figure average Vietnam veteran is 82 to 83 years old now. So your War II and Korea veterans obviously going to be in the late 80s to late 90s. So they're going to need somebody to go along with them to help a little bit. Some push wheelchairs, some have walkers, and some can get around okay, but you still need to have somebody there to just need to. Us old timers, after a little while, we're going to get tired. It's a full day. She'll talk more about the full day. This is coverage from the missions back in 2009 and 2010. So there's a lot of talked about it back then. Like I said, they ran out of War II veterans, so they quit flying. So we started back up in 2022, not knowing there'd been another version back in 2009-10. We're really blessed. A lot of those guys are still around. And when I asked them if they had any paperwork, because I don't know, we threw that away. Fortunately, a lot of them were pack rats like me, and they kept a lot of paperwork. So it gave me a good head start on what to do and how to get things started. And then Judi moved up here and really kicked it in high gear there. This is the organization. You see it gets pretty involved. We're still needing people, besides the board of directors, got committee chairs and the volunteer roles. You see there's a whole plethora, is the big word for the day, of positions that we need people to step up and help with. So we need a lot of volunteers. So please talk to us after the meeting. I've got volunteer forms up here that you can fill out and help us out with this project. Okay, these are other veteran events. Judi talked a little bit more about that. We'll talk about those and the flight itself.
Hi, thank you for having us here. Hello. So I've been volunteering for 6 years with Honor Flight South Florida. I went to one homecoming event and I was sold. And actually that's one of my neighbors doing a veteran sign-up recruitment at a VA clinic. So there's all different kinds of activities that Honor Flight South Florida has done that I've participated in. The Marlins sponsored a luncheon for them. That's up, and I brought that vet and his wife to that event. We do fundraising. Travis actually had me holding a gun, which is not necessarily my thing, but we've these are some things that they've done here to raise funds for Honor Wiregrass Honor Flight. We have another program called Flags of Our Heroes, which you might think about for your file. Because what we do here is we take flags and we honor vets that were not able to do their flight. We have a process on the plane, and then we go to the memorials with them and honor them that way. So we have what they call a TLC program for someone who can't do a regular flight because they're terminally ill, and they'll fly them with a caretaker to be honored. The Lone Eagle program is for people that are in an area that does not have a home, that they can get them to be honored as well. And then the Flags of Our Heroes is the one I was just talking about. Okay, so now this is really my part. It's Honor Flight South Florida style. So I've done 3 flights. What we do is we have ground crew. You can see these yellow shirts. In the left, that's my sister and I. And when the veterans come to the airport, they get dropped off. We entertain them while their guardians are parking. We take their photos. We get them all hyped up for the flight. We serve them breakfast. That's on the top right. That's my stepfather. I took him. And I also took a stranger as a guardian, and I did 1 flight as staff. That's the other one that I did as a guardian. They get the fire department to do a water salute when we're taking off, and we're greeted up there. And then we take a lot of photos. We have a whole photo media team. We usually do a mission picture either in Iwo Jima or sometimes World War II if for whatever reason we can't go to Iwo Jima. Highlight for me has been the Military Women's Memorial. If we have women veterans on the flight, they will actually introduce them and tell their stories. My first flight I was sitting with a woman who served in Vietnam with her father, who was a doctor, and she was assisting with him, and it was just a fabulous story. That's it. If you ever get there, that is a wonderful site to visit. They've done a really nice job. Of course, we have the changing of the guard, and they've set up this other area they kind of reserved for the honor flight, and we bring everybody in there. And that's a highlight of the trip. These pictures are from the other monuments, the Vietnam Wall. Honor Flight South Florida does a separate group shot in front of the Vietnam Wall. We've got the Korea's reopened. That picture on the top right is actually a friend of mine finding someone that he served with on the wall. And there's people that help with that. And he was flying with his son, who's a firefighter. And then we have other surprises for people. We eat dinner in the airport and get on the flight. And then there's a homecoming. I don't know how many of you were vets, but shouldn't be too much. Anyway, so what do we provide to the veterans for the day? We give them a dedicated guardian. This person is responsible for them for the day, pick them up, bring them to the airport, make sure all of their needs are met for the day. We put them through training so that they know what's expected. They get a t-shirt, a hat. I have an example of a hat from down south there, a lanyard with their ID. We work with TSA to get through easily so that it's not going through the regular channels to get onto the flight. If they need it, they have what we call an honor chair for the day. That's the wheelchair that will take care of them. Then all their meals, snacks, bus transportation. We do like guide, talk about where we are, what we're looking at and everything. We try to get escorts, police escorts. Sometimes we're not able to, but that's what we try to do. And then we bring the flight home, and basically a full day of feeling the love, honor, and gratitude, which I loved your introduction. I'm that person on the sideline. I do all kinds of veteran things. I'm a daughter of the American Revolution. To me, my father is a Marine. I'm getting used to that. He is a Marine, even though he's gone. My brother was in the Army, my younger brother also. I am very personally grateful for all of your services, and I do my best to give back. We also have, for those that can't fly, we're working on what we call a virtual honor flight, where we try to give the experience of an honor flight to those who can't fly or don't feel comfortable to fly. Although I have to tell you, we had someone 106 years old. We had the last Tuskegee Airmen on a flight. So we take care of what needs to be taken care of. They have medics, they have military that are active up in DC that meet the buses and go on the buses, help people on and off the buses and things like that. But we do have the honor flight, virtual honor flight option. Doing good. So as you can see, there is a lot involved and a lot of fundraising to be done. We do charge the guardians to cover their expenses. And let me tell you, the guardians, I had recruited 3 friends and 2 veteran friends. So we had like a party of 12 on the last flight I did. And all of my friends are sold. So now they're all volunteering, and you I can't even tell you how wonderful it feels to do this for a veteran and to see their reactions and to be part of that. So, we do fundraising because we provide a lot. And the guardians do cover their expenses. We're estimating, well, for 170 people, which would be about 70 vets, their guardians, and then the several staff people that have to go, people that do the photography, people that organize the path, people that we have medics that fly with us. There's just been a myriad of staff people that go as well. I was a sweeper. So basically I was making sure that people were swept where they needed to be, and I'd sweep through the bus, make sure nobody left things behind. But there's a bus captain that kind of makes sure everybody gets on the bus. So there's a lot of people involved.
All right. As you mentioned, guardians and the people going with the flights. I talked to a few veterans, but mainly outside of the group that still meets in Ozark. I've talked to more guardians they went back in 2009 and 10, or even other places in the country, because of no facility officer would get a lot of imports here. And every guardian has said, outside of marriage and birth of a child, their day as a guardian was the day of their life. They loved it. It was just, they got as much, if not more, than a veteran. The virtual, she mentioned, again, it's for people that, it's to be multi-purpose. It's for people that can't physically fly for medical reasons. Some veterans don't want to go. They don't mind, like when we had the Vietnam War and here in Dothan back in September, they could come to that because it's a little more familiar territory. Their friends and family are with them. When you go to the wall, everybody I've talked to said it's almost like a little different dimension when you get there. Just, the atmosphere is just very different. And the ones that have been said they loved it. They just don't want to go again. It's just too much. So we're giving them an option to come see what is involved as far as us honoring them. There also will be a dress rehearsal for the staff people. So we'll know when we do the first flight, we're going to try a small one in June, with about 20-25 minutes. A smaller charter plane. It's going to be a dress rehearsal up there. So we're still raising money for that. But also the virtual will be open to the public, where we can get people, hopefully recruit them as volunteers. They'll see what's involved. They'll get excited, like she got excited with the real flight. Hopefully we get some of the same atmosphere with the volunteers. Also, it will be getting the word out. This is what we're doing. And hopefully people will donate some money, because we need money to get this flight out. So we saw that it's $125,000 roughly. It's about double what it was in 2009 and 10. Just the plane a year and a half ago was about $70,000. Okay, and price of fuel obviously has gone up and down and whatever, but it's going to be pretty high by the time we actually get the flight in the fall. So we're still shooting for a big number for the fall with a smaller dry run or test run in the summer. We need the mail call. That's where people send letters to us to give to the veterans. I've already got a school out of Mobile that's sent me a bag full of letters to give to the veterans. So any school, any church group, something like that, you know, write letters telling the veterans, thank you for your service, appreciate it, that type of stuff. Please get them to do that. We need honor chairs, that's what's called the wheelchairs. We'll take a wheelchair and try to for each veteran, whether they need it or not. Halfway through the day, they might decide, hey, you know, it's a little bit too much for me. I need to take a little ride the rest of the day because it's gonna be a full day. You'll start about 5 or 6 in the morning. You're not gonna get back to about 9 or 10 at night. And when you're up in your 70s, 80s, and 90s, that's really a long day. I'm 70, I'll be 72 in a couple months, so I'm a baby in the group right now. All right. Go back. Let's see. Yeah, recruitment, we need volunteers, we need guardians. Like I said, we've got about half the number of guardians right now. We need somebody that's physically can push a wheelchair in case they need it. We can use somebody maybe that doesn't quite qualify for that, for a veteran, maybe it's a little bit better shape, they get along, but they still maybe need a little extra push here and there. Okay, we need help with the virtual on-flight. You still use some volunteers for that, vendors, obviously any group that wants to donate t-shirts, make the little lanyards, which is good. You want to tell about that real quick?
So when we do flights, you print up name tags and put them in a lanyard. As a matter of fact, I lost my driver's license in there for 4 months, so I was getting ready to get it approved. But that allows us to go through TSA so they can readily identify us. The way they do it in South Florida is the guardians are red, the vets are blue, so their hats are blue, their lanyards are blue. It also makes it very easy for us to identify our people when we're all wandering around, because it's not like everybody stays together. When you get to the mall, you know, basically we get dropped off on one end of the mall, we get picked up on the other, and you can kind of go wherever, do whatever you want. Maybe you have 2 hours or whatever it is.
It's the mall with the different monuments, not a shopping mall.
The National Mall.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I apologize for not bringing the lanyard, but all of these things cost, you know, the printing, there's a lot of materials that need to be done to just promote this, giving out cards, you know, for volunteers to have cards. We leave publications in different businesses just to try to promote this. There's a lot to it. So one of the things that they do, I pointed out where we had the photo, the guardian and the veteran photo. What we do is a doctor is watching that. And if somebody is showing that they have a mobility issue, what they do is, this is what they do in South Florida anyway, they will put a gold star on their lanyard. And what that does is tells everybody that these people get the front seats on the bus, these people get the front seats on the flight. I mean, there are just so many little things. Now, that hub's been going for over 10, they just finished 10 years, just had their 10th anniversary. So I'm trying to bring all of these little things that, you know, just, oh, by the way, you know, there's just so many little things to pull together. And that's what we're working on. And I'm very excited to be part of this, to get my mission this year. I'm here working. I'm just here temporarily, but one of my missions this year is to finish my project successfully and to get the first flight here off the ground. So, I'm helping as much as I can.
You see, it's a lot of the little details that go into this. She's telling me a lot of this stuff, like the star, that little thing like that. They never think about. They've been doing it 10 years, just 3 or 4 a year, and 30 something so far. 37. Anyway, they've been doing it. They know what they're doing. We're trying to do a streamlined beginner 101 version of what they're doing. So we're trying to get as much in it as we can with the limited number of people here, obviously down in Miami. there's a lot more people that got to work in it, volunteer. We've got fewer here, but we're gonna try to get as much as we can done in a short time. Each flight, we're learning gradually to do like they did in Growing. So like I said, we need volunteers and we need money. So if there are any questions,
No question?
What's the estimated cost for our gardening?
roughly 700. I'm hoping that's a little bit more. We've actually got a few people, actually one veteran who can fly for free. He's gone out and raised enough money to fly several other veterans and guardians. So there's some people that really want to go, and I've had a couple say that they would love to be a guardian, they just can't afford it, they're covered. So we need the people. We would appreciate them paying their way. We've got a few scholarships, I guess you would say, to cover some of their costs. And we've got other people say, I don't want to go as a guardian, whatever, but here's some money to pay for a guardian that could go. So money can be raised in different ways.
I've committed to sponsor a guardian.
Is this really an open risk for veterans until the flight is full?
Yeah, we'll try to do, they did 2 flights a year before, and that's what we're gonna try to do this year. I mean, each year from now, we'll try the small one in June, to test drive it, do the bigger one in fall, and then hopefully each spring and each fall we'll have 2 flights a year. There's still about 5,000 nationally World War II and Korean veterans that haven't flown. This waiting list of over 60,000 Vietnam veterans that haven't flown. So you figure a couple thousand in this area. It's gonna take us a while to get that caught up. Unfortunately, we had 3 of them passed away and another that was getting ready to sign up back in the fall. So we've got to get this quick as we can because they're just not going to get much longer.
Is this the same group? I know help a year and a half, 2 years ago, there was an appeal to try to start honor flight. Is this part of that?
Yeah, we started in
The
2020.
the people that may had submitted their names for inquiry of that, do you still have those or are they going to do it again? You do?
So if you see them in form, we still have it.
Okay.
Yeah, we were hoping to fly last year. The money didn't come in. I don't know why, but in 2009 to 10, they raised money really quickly. Cities gave money. Even an elementary school raised about $5,000. So that was huge back then. It's just been slower this year with the economy. People are just not turning loose the money. Companies are a little bit slower giving out. It's starting to pick up steam though. That's why, again, the virtual is going to be important so they can actually see this is what is going on. They can get a taste of it real. So hopefully that will loosen some purse strings, so to speak.
How long is each trip?
Starting now, we're just going to do the 1 day. Some places do 2 to 3 days. It depends on, again, their schedule and how much money they've raised and what they want to do. A lot of times, all right, the one in San Antonio they want me to fly was a 3-day trip. There's some out on the West Coast that are 4-day trips. I guess they figure if they can fly all the way across the country, they're going to stay there and get some money. But when they did it before, it was 1 day, and at least to start with, we just don't do that.
Some actually go on commercial flights. So one of the things that Travis is committed to is to do a charter flight. That allows you to get going really early in the morning and to get back the same day. And it is a very long day, but we take care of the veterans. You know what I mean? Where you're on the bus, you get tired, we have the honor chairs. From South Florida, they take off like a little before 6 and usually land back about 8 o'clock. And I don't know if you remember, Bob Dole used to meet all of the flights in DC. So, you know, there are people there to greet you and there's people to greet you when you come home. And it's a long day, but I haven't seen anybody sleep through it yet, so.
And again, there's a group in Alabama that does commercial, they do just smaller. But to me, if you're on an airplane and you've got, 15, 20 people in the back that are veterans and they're trying to do on a flight, people are talking, explaining things. There's a program going on. You're up front, you're on a business flight, you want to either be on your laptop or you want to sleep. It's not a good scene for either one. So I'm going to wait, save the money up, get a charter flight. That way everybody's on the same page. It's dedicated. We're honoring these veterans. If we're going to do it, let's do it right. Even if it takes a little bit longer, which it has, to get the money up, let's do it right. Make it their day, not one of 100-something other passengers.
And with the charter flight, you also have a little more flexibility. We're able to help serve the snacks. We give the pilots a script so that we kind of control the whole day on the flights and, and around on the buses and everything. It's just a wonderful.
And each bus up there costs about $1,500. So again, there's all sorts of costs. The more you get into it, the more somebody's holding the hand out and wants some money. So you think you raise it, and then they go, oh, by the way, how many buses in this X amount per bus? That's all I have. Yes.
I just want to thank you for finally doing the Vietnam veterans. When we came back, there wasn't much honoring going on.
No, there wasn't. Yeah. I was Vietnam era, when I was in basic, they signed the peace treaty, so I didn't have to go over, but I was a medic, so I took care of the guys when they came back. Yeah, it was rough time.
And for me, that's why it's especially important for the Vietnam vets, because we recognize that. Definitely recognize that. I think that's why they did a separate photo at the wall of the Vietnam vets. And at this point, most of the people flying are Vietnam. So it's very special. And I have to share a story. So yesterday, my sisters came up to visit me for the weekend, and we went to Panama City Beach. And I haven't even told you this yet. So here we are, we're trying to get a picture with the sunset, and this woman offered to take the picture. And so I gave her my camera, she took the picture, and I saw her later with a gentleman, I assume was her husband, and he had a Vietnam vet hat on. And I thanked him for his service. And of course, I asked him, have you ever heard of Honor Flight? And he knew all about it. He's on the list up in Minneapolis. I'm like, you go. And I told her, you can't be that's another thing. The spouses cannot be the guardians, because we don't want the veterans to focus on their spouse. We want the guardians to focus on the vets. So I was telling her, and I explained, she didn't understand why. And I explained, oh, that makes sense. I said, but you go. You start going to the meetings, you volunteer, you give back, there's so much you can do. And she said, I will do that. And I didn't get their name and number. I took a picture with them, but I got to write to the Minneapolis hub and find out who they are so that I can stay in touch, because I would love to write a letter when he goes on his. But yeah, it's nothing else spread the word. It's just a fabulous organization. It's nationwide. You've got family across the country. Tell them to find their hub. That's how I found Travis. Where I lived, they had a gathering at our clubhouse in the apartment complex, and I met a vet there. And I said, oh, have you done an honor flight? And he said, no, they had never heard of it. I said, well, let me find your hub. Facebook. Hi, I volunteer with South Florida. Where and when do you meet? And that was when I met Travis. This is almost 4 months ago.
Thank you for taking the time to speak to us today. Thank you for your service to our veterans. I want to say a special thank you to Jenny Logan. As you see, we got some new signs this week. So Jenny's a good head of that. And just a reminder, we do have a board meeting today. So if you're on the board, we'll meet immediately after this meeting. With that, will you please stand for the full-way test? Of the things we think, say, and do.
Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all?
Sign the Light Rotary. All right. Mr. Denver, hold
Mr. Bob, you doing okay? Good.
That LIFB gets.
After a while, I want to leave.
I guess I need to end this thing, don't I?